For those who have not been paying attention, wrap your heads around this, if you can. An epic event occurred on April 30, 2022. The business world as we know it was introduced to an incredible monumental company that is setting records that no one will ever break. That happened in the front of tens of thousands, perhaps millions of unsuspecting eyes. This visionary concept by Mr. Ash Mufare and his staff has taken hold of this business world like no other company has or will ever. The world was introduced to compound marketing. Compound marketing. It happened in the city of Dubai, United Arab Emirates. It could not have happened in a better, more dynamic city than Dubai, in the most incredible building ever devised by human hands, the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building on earth. The world saw what has been developing for over 3.5 years, burst upon the scene, with this extraordinary display of human creativity and human intelligence. If you have never heard of the term a paradigm shift, this is what happened. A paradigm shift is a fundamental change in approach or underlying assumptions. The business world has been turned upside down by OnPassive. OnPassive is creating the template with other companies, if they want to rise to the rarefied air of OnPassive, will actually try to duplicate, but they won't be able to duplicate. They may have the words and pictures, but words and pictures are meaningless unless you had the heart to go along with those words and pictures. That is a distinguishing factor of OnPassive. OnPassive was built with heart. The hearts of Mr. Ash Mufare and his family and technical staff. OnPassive was built for the masses. OnPassive was built for the uplifting, by human means, of humanity. The Obless platform of OnPassive represents all the good in the hearts of Mr. Ash Mufare and his family and staff. That is the most amazing thing about what the world saw on April 30, 2022. There are a lot of things that Mr. Mufare has been doing along with his talented staff that are highly proprietary, and really the world isn't privy to that information, because that information is for all dedicated positive founders who have been working with Mr. Mufare and his staff since the inception of OnPassive. The founders are a special set of visionaries who have followed Mr. Mufare and his dream and vision from day one. Mr. Mufare holds all positive founders as his partners, and when you have a partner, you want to share secret things about that nobody else knows. That's the elevated position that all founders find themselves in today. There wasn't a positive founder on earth who was not impressed with what they said about their company OnPassive on April 30, 2022. This was just the beginning of a branding that borders on incredible. Branding of OnPassive has never been done the way Mr. Mufare has developed this branding. This OnPassive brand has been created to burn in the minds and hearts of people who saw the OnPassive name by countless thousands, maybe tens of thousands, who gathered around the Burj Khalifa to see with their own eyes the magnificence of OnPassive. This event was carried by video conferencing and live streamed to many YouTube channels to the world. It was overwhelming to be able to see this display of genius branding. OnPassive is getting a brand that will take the word OnPassive to instant recognition worldwide. When the world sees the name OnPassive, they know something is good. Something is wholesome, something is legal, something of which to be proud. The pomp and circumstances that occurred in Dubai city were a display of genius by a man, Mr. Mufare, that will never be duplicated. In the city of Dubai, the OnPassive name is seen all over that city. Did you see the people looking up, taking camera shots of the extraordinary OnPassive name rising to the top of the Burj Khalifa, being admired by all who are lovers of OnPassive and those who did not believe? And those who did not believe, sitting on the sidelines, wishing they could have made better decisions when it came to OnPassive. Because of the loving nature of Mr. Ash Mufare, it is still not too late to become a part of this mega giant, with heart, We had a private only for founders meeting with Mr. Ash Mufareh last Monday, April 25th that will go down in history. A conversation that was given to respected and loving founders by Mr. Ash Mufareh. Any founders who had any doubts about OwnPassive, all those doubts should have disappeared. He gave his heart, he gave his soul, he gave all of us reasons to be joyful with the direction in which OwnPassive is going. We cannot divulge the information that we received, which was proprietary, but what you saw on April the 30th Saturday, 2022 was the cornerstone of what happened in that private meeting. Despite all that was revealed to the founders on April 25, 2022 in that private meeting, we know only about 10% of how enormous OwnPassive is. If you're inquisitive about it, become a founder and you will be able to listen to the voice recording of Mr. Mufareh, where he emptied his heart and told us some of the things that will physically shape this planet, some of the things that will uplift humanity. Become a founder, and you'll find out. If you don't want to become a founder, when OwnPassive launches to the world, you can become a customer and we will love you for being a customer. And if you wanted to make some money, become a reseller of OwnPassive's superior digital products. We will also look forward to a gala event that has happened only one time in the advertising and marketing arenas, that was by Mercedes-Benz. OwnPassive will be the second company to do it. On May 28, 2022, we will be able to find out along with the rest of the world. OwnPassive raised the bar in Dubai.